not the mascot Philadelphia wanted, but he's the mascot Philadelphia deserves.
It is time to get nitty-gritty.
Birds like pure nightmare and horrifying. The Flyers' new mascot is certainly drawing mixed reactions from fans here in Philadelphia and across the country.
Can you give me a high five, high 10?
I only had this one question, which was why?
Gritty mania.
We saw what was going on at the All-Star Games when you have 27 other mascots together, and sort of collectively determined it was time, basically, to look to introduce this mascot. Just the sheer number of events that we weren't present at. One of the ones that stuck out to us was when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and here comes the bus. The Eagles coming back from Minnesota, and the Fanatic, Franklin, Sixers mascot, and Swoop are all leading the bus back in, and we didn't have any representation. One of the first calls we made was to Dave Raymond.
I was, as my son says, the OG Philly Fanatic. As the Phillies would say, I was the original best friend of the Fanatic for 17 years. And then I left to become an entrepreneur and have been delivering character branding, so sports marketing and entertainment with a character / mascot. And so I've been in the business of professional idiocy for 40 years.
Really, it was just that meeting to accept the fact that we're absolutely going to move forward with this. But really, at the end of the day, it was to give us confidence that we could introduce this and we could sort of do this project.
The first thing I said was, everybody in this room knows we're going to get killed, right? And we could roll out the Fanatic. The next Fanatic, we could roll him out and we are going to get hammered.
We came up with this rule of thumb that it was going to be anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months that it was going to take fans to embrace and adopt him. From there, it was basically, okay, we need to develop a cast of characters to evaluate who should represent the Flyers. You know, how do we develop a backstory for him?
We wanted something that created its own identity, and something that we could brand that would match the blue collar and the nature of Philadelphia and the Philadelphia fan base.
We had everything from bulls to flying animals and all kinds of dogs and that kind of stuff. And basically, at the end of the day, we're like, this isn't working for us. We really need like a monster type creature. At the time, it was called Monster D. And we sort of shaped him to be what you see today as Gritty.
The first game was mixed of boos and cheers, but I think the real turning point came when the fan base leaned in and Philadelphians leaned in to protect one of their own.
Where Philadelphia completely adopted Gritty was when the Penguin from Pittsburgh wrote as a dismissive tweet, "Laugh out loud, okay," you know, responding to Gritty. And Gritty said, "Sleep with one eye open tonight, bird." Went right to murder, apparently. That's what Philadelphia's all about. You know, it's us. You know, we may not be pretty, we may not smell good, we may not look good, but guess what? We're gonna kick your ass.
And at first I was like a little horrified, but when everyone else outside of Philly started attacking Gritty, I was like, no, he's ours. Don't talk down on him that way.
When I first saw Gritty, I thought it was the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. The pictures they put out, it was like this really weird angle and like lighting, and he looks like terrifying. But it was hilarious. In true Philadelphia fashion, once the national media got a hold of it, and everybody was kind of like, what is Philly doing? This is crazy. And then, of course, Philadelphians are, you're not talking about our guy like that. And then it's just now he's a national treasure.
All along we talked about having something that was going to be, you'd want to high-five them, you didn't really want to hug them. For me personally, yeah, there was a lot of days where I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go. Because our fans are passionate, loyal, but they're also very rigid. It was always about proving it to them, right? Like proving that, yeah, he's one of our own, and accept him as one of our own. And we were so lucky that that happened in such a shorter time frame, that whole 2 weeks to 2 months thing went out the window, and it took 12 hours, so.
We made a conscious effort to lean in, and I think all the credit goes to our social media team.
He's not just going to be what the internet
makes him, although that is part of Gritty, that is not who Gritty is, and that's what we're tasked with.
Some of his strongest posts are situational, like something happened and we came up with a reaction to it. The Kim Kardashian post was just a follow-up to the full day of memes and postings from everyone on the 24th when he first launched. Philly fans and just fans across the U.S. are just like breathing life into him every day that sometimes we don't even know about.
What's great about Philadelphia is that once he went to bat for the city and the rest of the country and the world started to pick apart Gritty in those first 24 hours, it gave the city something to rally behind and defend. And I think that's what cemented the bond at first.
Yeah.
Gritty is the best part of my day.
It's sort of comical to see like people's roller coaster of emotions when it came to we don't like them, we like them, we don't like them, now we really like them, now we love them, now we'll take a bullet for them. Like just a bizarre set of reactions from fans. He's not afraid to go there. He's not afraid to take shots. He's not afraid to conduct antics that sort of get him in trouble a little bit. Like that's his personality. And you know, I think that reflects a lot from us who are from Philly, right? So it's like natural for us to be like, yeah, a crazy mascot should do these things.
I just want people, it's not this silly, wacky character standing on the sidelines. There's really some important work that goes on with them, and if you have a good steward like the Flyers are going to be for Gritty and like the Phillies have been for the Fanatic, they exploit that power, and they're doing fabulous things in the community that none of us really see.
Gritty, I think, is something that's been a reoccurring theme that carries the positivity scale multiple days at a time.
He's a troublemaker we all love, I guess is the best way to put it.